Greetings and blessings, St. Paul's. Today is Wednesday in the second week of Advent. The psalm that is appointed for today is Psalm 38, and I read you the first two verses. O Lord, do not rebuke me in your anger. Do not punish me in your wrath, for your arrows have already pierced me, and your hand presses hard upon me. Traditionally, the church some in the church have called Advent a mini Lent. And the idea behind that way of seeing Advent is that this is a time of preparation for something big in the life of the Christian church. Lent is set up as 40 days of preparation for Easter, and Advent is preparation for Christmas. But there's one big difference between the two, and that is one of the reasons why some of the liturgical movement is towards using the color blue instead of purple for Advent, because it's less of a somber kind of color than purple is. But even more importantly is the fact that the preparation we're doing during this season, it's about getting ourselves focused and understanding the message and the invitation to allow Christ to be born in our lives anew every day. For us to do that, it is important that we find more room in our lives for the presence of Christ. Every year, for the years I've been here at St. Paul's, the children of St. Paul's School, a group of them, one of the grades, as part of the Christmas pageant, sings this song called No Room, making a reference to the fact that when Mary and Joseph went to Nazareth for the birth of Jesus, there was no room in the inn. And they had to go find room elsewhere, and they ended up in what was a stable back in those days. Sometimes that happens in our lives today. We are so busy with so many things that we can't find room in our lives for Jesus to be present. I guess right now, this is one of those years in which 10 months of pandemic have so overshadowed everything else in our lives that it is hard to make room for hope, for new life to be born in our lives, in our hearts, in our spirits. And that is why I believe that this year's Advent is of such importance to us who live in this particular era. This is the greatest thing to have happened to us as a world community, at least since I've been alive. And therefore, many of us have no idea of how to make sure that we don't get ourselves so bogged down by this crisis that we can't find a way out, that we can't find room for the presence of God in our lives. So, my beloved, I know that it is hard work. I understand it fully myself. I am living it too. But we have to do the hard work of allowing God to be the one who carries our burdens. Because yes, God can even carry the burden of COVID-19 for us. God can carry the burden of financial strife for us. God can carry the burden and strife of racial inequality for us. God can carry all of those burdens for us if we only allow God to do it. In the gospel that is appointed for the reading today, for if you were having Eucharist, the reading comes from the Gospel of Matthew, where Jesus says to his disciples, "Come unto me, all ye that travail and are heavy laden, and I will refresh you. For my burden is easy, for my yoke is light and my burden is easy." Or the other way around. I'm not seeing it right in front of me. It is a wonderful invitation that is as true now as it was when Jesus first used these words in the first century. Come unto God, all those of us who travail and are heavy laden, and God will refresh us. I pray that not only during this season of Advent, but that every day in your life when you feel yourself carrying a heavy burden, you will take that burden to God and allow God to carry that burden for you, and that you might be refreshed. Blessings and peace to you all this day and always.